And open that back up. And let's get this party started. Time to go. All right. Ooh, I got my fan on over me and it actually feels cold. So I have to warm up well. All right, got my computer going. You guys know the drill. Nice, easy gear, small ring in the top part of your cassette. If you can be in the easiest gear you have, put yourself there. That's a good place to start. You guys have already been spinning for about 5 minutes, so that's good. We'll give you a full 10 by the time we really get this party started. It's going to help get the legs ready just enough. And as you know, as we talked about previously, you have your fan, your water bottle, and your towel. And after we get that first initial warm up, we're going to open up the legs a little bit more. That'll get us going, get the lactic acid to start coming forward, which is what we want. Get the heart rate moving a little bit. Get the blood starting to move a little bit faster. And then we'll get into this workout that I called keeping you on your toes. Reason being, they're going to be quick efforts in succession of each other. So not a lot of breaks in each set. And they're going to be efforts that are going to kind of climb a little bit of a cadence ladder, but each one is going to have a different time associated with it. And you're going to notice initially, we're going to do sets of timed efforts, and then we're going to pull them all together. So it'll kind of, you'll see how the workout goes. You'll start to recognize a pattern. So what I want you to really think about with each first set that we do is if you're using any metrics, be it speed, power, holding those cadences as always, heart rate, if you're using a heart rate strap, and even just your own rate of perceived exertion. Those are all good ways to determine your effort level and then to be consistent with those effort levels. So with the first set, we're going to do 4 by 30 seconds. So for each first set effort, make that as your one to like gauge your effort and determine how you're going to, what effort level you're going to hold for each one of those 4. Then we're going to do 5 and another set of 5. So each of those, try to keep it consistent. Doesn't matter if it's super hard or super easy for you, depending on where you are in your fitness level. That's why I like these trainer sessions. You don't have to chase anybody down. You can go at whatever level is good for you right now. And it is winter, so we don't have to feel like we're really, really pushing it yet. All right, we got 1 more minute. How we're going to start? We're going to start with 5 minutes of 15 seconds standing, 15 seconds seated. I'm going to give you a gear that's going to give you enough resistance under your feet. So those standing efforts, you can really make them happen. And remember, when you stand, hands should be in the hoods. You're going to stand straight up. Don't want you standing forward, and then it's going to put too much strain on your legs. Make sure you're feeling that tip of your saddle just right in between your legs. That's where you know you're in the right location. And you know, if you Stand up nice and tall, maybe even look at the ceiling. The taller your torso is, the better off you're going to be. All right, so I want everybody to get into their big ring and down into your 15. So that should mean about 3 or 4 gears under your chain. This is going to give you a lot of resistance. So 15 standing. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. And just feel yourself start to get warmer and warmer. And the legs start to feel better as we go through this. Sitting down. 15 up. 15 down. 3, 2. Stand it up. Just feel comfortable. Your arms should actually be super relaxed. Sitting back down. If you feel your legs burning, that's good. That's what we want. Standing up. Feeling that upward part of the stroke too. Sitting back down. If your hands are moving from your hoods to your deck, that's a good thing. And up. Start getting used to moving your hands back and forth. Sitting down. Because when you're out on the road, you'd be surprised how much you actually move your hands on the handlebars. And up. Now you might start feeling a little burn. That's the burn we want. Sitting down. You also might notice that this gear might have felt kind of heavy initially. And up. And as you warm up, it doesn't feel so bad when you sit back down. And down. "15 seconds is a nice even standing effort. And up. And down. If you need a drink at any point, don't hesitate to work that in. And up. That's something to really work on inside. If it challenges you when you're outside. And down. Coming up to 4 minutes. 1 more to go. Obviously, you're not going to try to get a drink when you're standing. And up. And down. That's what you want to do when you're on the bike. Find those places where it might be a nice flat road, or if you're in a pace line when you come to the back, Last time up. You always want to consume your water at a smart time. And down. Last 15. 3, 2, 1. Small ring all the way up to that easy gear. Now take an official drink. All right. All right, so I gave you a brief interlude into what this is going to look like. So the first kind of bulk of it is 3 sets. First set is all 30-second efforts. Second set is 60-second efforts. Last set is 90-second efforts. So for each one of those, we're going to try to hold a particular cadence. I'm going to give you a gearing option. You can either use that one or choose one that works better for you. For each of them, you're going to get an equivalent rest time to the time that you got for the effort. So that's going to be good because you're going to be able to get sufficient rest between each effort. So our first one's going to be 4 by 30 seconds. We're going to be in our big ring 15. Don't have to go there yet. So right in the same gear you were just in. 60 to 70 cadence. Then we're going to take 30 seconds. You're going to shift to your small ring, but stay in the same gear. And recover for 30 seconds. So it's just big ring, small ring, no change in the back. Effort level at what you want it to be, 60 to 70. Pick that range, decide what effort level you want to go to. Go ahead and find that big ring. Back down to that 15. This is all seated. 3, 2, 1. Focus on that one, 60 to 70. That's going to force you to push this gear a bit. We're going about 60 or 70 during our warm-up. Stay strong with this. Use your core. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Stay in the same gear in the back. Just spin it easy. Easy might actually mean increasing your cadence a little bit, just to let the legs spin. We're going to do 4 of these. Find that big ring. 3, 2, 1. Hold the cadence. 60 to 70. If you determined your metric in the first one, aim for the same. "30 seconds feels longer. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Allow the recovery to happen. You're going to notice as we go through these, we're going to go easier gear, longer effort, faster cadence. 2 down. 2 to go. Big ring. Let's go. Right back to that cadence. Match what you had on the previous one. Match the effort level. Hands are relaxed. Elbows are bent. 3, 2, small ring. 1 more to go. The other nice part is your recovery in between is going to get longer with each set. All right, last one with this set. Coming up. Find that big ring. 30 seconds. That's it. Right on the mark. Right from the start. Hold the effort. You might be starting to sweat. That's a good thing. Down to your small ring. Stay in the 15. You're not recovering totally yet. You're going to get 1 minute in between this one and the next one. 3, 2, 1. All the way to the top of the cassette. Take a drink. One minute easy. All right, we're going to get ready for the next one. You're going to do 5 by 60 seconds. So a full minute effort with a full minute of rest. Each one of these, you're going to be in that small ring 15, which is what you were in for the recovery of the last effort. And you're going to hold 70 to 80 cadence. So I know you can hold 70 because you were just there for the previous effort. In between, we're going to shift up to a few easier gears so you can spin the legs for that minute in between. So just follow along with me. We'll get this done. So find that 15 again. Look back if you need to. 3 gears underneath that chain. 3, 2, 1. 70 to 80. Now, if you're using power, you might notice that your power might be just slightly below or slightly above the previous effort. Just because of the gearing. It's not because all of a sudden you got weaker. The gearing will make that effort different. But when you hit the perfect gear with the perfect cadence, you can actually make up a lot of ground. So when I say count it down, give me 1, 2, 3, 4 easier gears. Spin it for a minute. So you know you're going to go 4 down and then 4 up for each one of these. Rest is around your 21, 23, 15 on the harder side. Really try to spin in between these. That'll get the legs enough recovery, but the gearing's light enough that it'll help you to feel that lactic acid start to kind of flush out. All right, 4 shifts down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. What's our cadence? 70 to 80. Hopefully you paid attention to what kind of effort level you were at for the previous effort. And stay right there. Working with whatever metric works for you is so important. It just makes things a little bit more manageable. If you're flying in the dark and you have no data, it's a little tougher to gauge those efforts. Three, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 gears. Spin it out. Take a drink if you need it. 3 more 1-minute efforts with a minute in between. Enough to keep you going. I have a list in here. Where did my list go? Have to find it on the next one. All right, coming up on number 3. Remember, you're going to shift 4 gears down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right back to that effort level, 70 to 80. You're warming up. You might go over your mark on this one because you're really getting warmed up. Keep it consistent. Time's going to go super fast tonight, especially when you do these kind of efforts. I want you 100% into the metrics for each one of these efforts. One, 2, 3, 4 easier gears. Spin it out. 3 down. 2 to go. So I always kind of like the winter as a chance to do different things outside. So since we didn't go snowshoeing on Monday, we actually went and just did a hike in the woods. The previous day, we had done 7 miles with no snow on the ground. And it took us like a little over 2 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 4th effort. Right back to that metric. 70 to 80. Stay consistent. We went to Ramapo Reservation, and I always say to Randy, if you weren't with me, I'd be completely lost right now. It's nice to have him because he knows that park like the back of his hands. Almost there. Stick with it. Shifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you got one more to do. So the hike we did, there was no snow on the ground. We were hiking along, clipping along actually at a really nice pace. Then the snow came. So I think that was actually Saturday. Snow came Sunday. Monday we went out, and it is always deceiving. The sky is blue, the sun's shining, but you know it's cold. But once you start moving, man, you might have the wrong combination of clothing on. So you really got to think about how to make that work. All right, last one. 1, 2, 3, 4 gears down. Let's go. 70 to 80. Right back to where you've been for all the previous efforts. Really concentrate on just that one metric, whatever it may be. Nice light feet. Legs moving fast. Not as fast as the next effort, though. This is a tough gear, but not super tough. 3, 2, all the way to the top. Spin it out. 2 minutes. Easy. Take a drink.
Mara, something happened with my volume. I'm going to sign off and turn right back on and see if it fixes it.
Okay. All right, so you're in a nice, easy gear. Spinning the legs, making sure you're using this as recovery. Remember, this is recovery. You don't have to go hard here. You just got to make sure you're allowing the legs a little bit of rest so they can do the next set. Next set. These are going to be a little longer, so get ready. 90 seconds, 5 of them. You're going to be in your small ring and your 21, so a nice, comfortable gear. But your cadence, 90 to 100. You're only going to make one shift to one easier gear for your recovery, which is going to also be 90 seconds. So you're going to get a nice, long recovery for a comfortable cadence and gearing for the actual effort level. So again, on the first one, pick that effort level for yourself. Determine how hard you want to go, what you want to do. If you need to keep it moderate, keep it at an endurance pace, and do that. If you want to test yourself, put yourself into zone 4 and do that. All right, so go ahead and find your gearing. If you have a 25 at the top, 23, 21 is all you're going to do. 2 gears down. Let's go. 90 seconds, 90 to 100. If you're not hitting a high power, that's okay. This one isn't about high power. This one is about holding a consistent cadence for that 90 seconds. I'm right at 100. If anybody's following my legs. So on our hike on Saturday, you know, that was a long way to go. I haven't hiked that long in a while. So I was feeling it. And it was good though, because the legs had to work in a different way. When you hike, especially around here, you have rocks, roots, everything changes the direction of your knees, your hips, your ankles. All those ligaments and tendons have to work for you. So it's a good way to strengthen in a different way. All right, coming up to the end of this one, you're going to give me just one easier gear. 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. Minute and a half. Bring your cadence down. Bring your effort level down. This is where you want to really feel the legs being easy. A minute and a half of recovery. So then the snow came on Sunday. We went out on Monday, back to Ramapo. We didn't put on any like crampons or any kind of anything on our shoes. We just wore our regular hiking shoes. Mine were waterproof. Randy's were just his regular hiking shoes. And the snow was just perfect for that. We could have never used our snowshoes. And we do hike with sticks or poles, which if you go hiking, I highly, 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 highly recommend you get a set of poles. They're like an extension of your hand. They help you to balance. If you feel yourself like falling or tripping, you can catch yourself. All right, one gear down, back up to 90 to 100. Let's go. Minute and a half. Now you might find yourself, if you're going over 100, that's okay. That'll give you just a little bit more effort. That'll bring up your power if you're using that as your metric. But this is almost like an endurance event, just to spin the legs. And like I said, keeping you on your toes here, mixing it up enough. So we started hiking out, and the interesting part about when you hike in the snow or when it's slippery, you change your stride. You actually shorten your stride so that you're not having to, if you stride too long, chances of you falling are pretty high. So I noticed myself at one section almost counting in my head like a cadence on the bike over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just kept saying it so that my cadence would stay consistent. 3, 2, 1, easy gear. Wow, that one went fast. It's because I was talking. Take a drink if you need it. So those short effort strides really work everything. Your calf muscles, even your shins, your glutes, your hamstrings. You get a lot of benefit from having to move through the snow and also taking twice as many steps, which Randy determined. He wears a little pedometer, and he said he took almost twice as many steps as he did for the 7-mile hike. We only went 4 miles, and it took us 2 hours. We did stop a couple of times. There's a waterfall there. We stopped to talk to somebody along the way. But A lot more steps when you're hiking in the snow. And I was happy with my clothing choice. I didn't have to really take any of my layers off. All right, one gear down. Let's go. Bring that cadence up. 90 to 100. I'm noticing as we do this, I'm able to get a higher cadence, which is giving me a higher power. Because the legs, this is where I like to be. 90 to 100. So the legs are like, yeah, this feels perfect. Keep the effort going. Keep that cadence consistent. I want you to notice your cadence. Is it jumping around? Is it staying right where you want it to be? If it's jumping around, it may mean that you're not even consciously doing it, but one foot might be pushing into the pedal more than the other. So if you have right-left balance on your computer, on your data, take a look at it. See if you're pedaling evenly. 50-50 would be even. If you know you push more with your right, think about only your left foot pedaling. 3, 2, 1 easier gear. Woo! Now we're getting going. This workout is moving along. So you may be saying to yourself, okay, so what were your clothing choices for the hike on Monday? I can't remember the actual temperature. It wasn't too windy, which was nice. And I had just a undershirt that doesn't have any sleeves. Then I had a long sleeve, kind of thin, kind of base layer thing. Over that, I had on a vest, kind of like a really good insulated vest. I had on some nice gloves, a buff, and a hat that covered my entire head. And that was just perfect because we did do some climbing. And I had on just waterproof pants and wool socks. All right, here we go. One gear down. Bring up that effort level. I think we only have 2 more left to do. This one, a little break, and the last one. Feel that core here. If you find yourself slouching your shoulders, which I can't even do, get your back nice and flat. Feel your core engage. When you flatten your back, that brings your glutes into the mix. But I don't want you arching your back. There's a difference. When you arch your back, you lose your sits bone in the saddle. I know it's crazy. Shoulders are down. Elbows are bent. Hands relaxed. Mouth just a little open. Let your face just kind of feel comfortable. Three, two, one. Easy gear. Take a drink if you need it. One more to do. moving through this. You know, last week I talked about replacing any of your shorts that might need replacing. The next part that you want to think about are your cleats. So if you're using different shoes on your trainer bike than you go outside with, typically those aren't going to change. If you have carpeting in your house, it really doesn't have the wear and tear on that cleat that you would have if you were outside on cement, blacktop, even gravel. So those cleats can last for a very long time inside. It's once we get outside and we start stopping, putting our foot down on the ground, one gear harder. Let's get in this last one. 3, 2, 1. Bring up that cadence. 90 to 100 or even over if your legs can go that fast. So if you're feeling as you're pedaling, now obviously if you have speed play pedals, this may not apply to you. Speed plays will last for a very long time. It's the look pedal, time, the plastic pedal, plastic cleat. Those are the ones that really get worn down. If you feel your foot moving just a hair as you pedal around and you pull up, that's how much power you're losing as a result of that cleat not being in good shape. So changing those cleats before you get back outside is a good idea. If you're not confident in doing that, go to your local bike shop. If you want to give it a try, 3, 2, 1. Nice easy gear. You're going to get a long 3 minutes here. Take a drink. So here's some tips and tricks for changing your cleats. Take a silver Sharpie, draw an outline as close to the cleat as you can around the cleat before you take it off. Then, once you get it off, make sure you're putting a little bit of grease on each one of the bolts before you reinstall the new cleat. That's just going to guarantee that that bolt stays where it should be. I've been on many rides where all of a sudden it's like mechanical, and all of a sudden they realize they've lost one of the bolts in their shoe, and their cleat is no longer able to stay there. So it might be smart to put a cleat bolt in your saddlebag. Doesn't weigh a lot. You might put in 3, since that's how many you need for one cleat. And if you have that happen, at least you can replace the cleat and get yourself to the next location to work out that problem. So drawing that line around the cleat before you put it on is a great option. I've also seen recently somebody took some silly putty and they kind of packed it in along the edges of the cleat, and then the cleat just sat right back in to the spot that you pulled it out from. That seems to be a good way to go, actually, because sometimes when you draw the line, it's just a little off as you go around the edges. So you have to really eyeball it and keep an eye on making sure that it's going in the right place. And always, if you put on a new set of cleats and it just doesn't feel right, your knees feel like they're pointing in the wrong direction, just adjust them one way or the other. Might take a couple of minutes, a couple of tries, but you'll get it back and you'll know when it's in the right spot because it'll feel right. All right, what's going to happen for the next one? We're going to try to get through a couple of these ladders. We'll see what our time's like. The way these are going to go, 3 parts, just like we just did. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, all together. No break in between. Each one's going to have a cadence and a gearing. First one, small ring, 23, 90 to 100. Let's go 30 seconds. That's 1 gear down if you have a 25 at the top. Give me a good spin here. You can probably get to 110. I want you going up into your big ring, giving me 2 or 3 gears harder. Let's go 70 to 80. 70 to 80. 60 seconds. Halfway there. Then you'll notice when we get there, you're going to go down to your 15. And we're going to go 90 seconds. 60 to 70 cadence. Three, 2, 1. Find the gear. If you need to stand up for just a bit to get your legs going, you may. 60 to 70. Ooh, this is when it hurts. The legs are already feeling it. Stick with it. Find that metric. Concentrate on that pedal stroke. This is when you get stronger. This is when it counts, right here at the end. 30 to go. Come on, don't give up yet. 15. If you need to get out of the saddle, you can do that. 10. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Small ring. Easy gear. Little rest. 1 minute. Take a drink. We got 1 more of these to do. And we're going to do it in the reverse. So we can start feeling that fast feeling as we finish up. Like to finish fast. So the time is going to stay the same. 30, 60, 90. First 30 is big ring 15. 60 to 70. Then we're going to move up. All right, find your big ring and a 15. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds. 60 to 70. Come on. This is when you need to really work it hard. This is where you get it to settle in. The legs are going to spin. Down to your small ring. Stay in the same gear in the back. 1 minute, 70 to 80. Let's go. Stick with it. Concentrate 100%. As soon as you lose concentration, that's when you start to lose form. Legs are burning. They're going to love the next one, though. You're going to go up to your 21. 3, 2, 1. Up to your 21. Spin it 90 to 100. 90 seconds. Spin it out. Starting the recovery, sort of, just with a cadence. I want you to give me everything you got in this last 90 seconds. If you get that cadence higher than 100, that's good. If you feel yourself bouncing, feel your core start to engage. I'll tell you when 30 seconds is left. Stay focused. Stay light. Last 30 seconds. Let's go. Good solid pedal stroke. 15. 5, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Easy gear. Spinning it nice and easy. Woo! Good one. I like that. I see lots of people drying themselves off. Finish your water bottle. That means you worked hard at this one. Now, you know, sometimes I talk about how you can translate some of these workouts into being outside. So when you're outside, we all have a tendency to just kind of ride along. If you want to challenge yourself sometimes, say to yourself, okay, for the next 60 seconds, I'm going to be in this gear at this cadence. And whatever comes my way, I have to try to challenge myself to keep it that way. Or you say, okay, I'm going to climb up this hill and I'm going to keep it right at 80 cadence. If I need to shift to stay at 80, then I do that. So play those little games with yourself. Pick a couple of days a week when you go out, if you go out on your own, and pick a course. Have a couple of different courses. I have a lot of different courses that I choose from. Some hilly courses, some flat courses, some courses that I can kind of speed it up a little bit. So find those courses and do them over and over again, and do either the same kind of effort or switch it up. I always say if it wasn't for our cycling, we would never know the roads around here. When we first moved here, that was what we did. We would just go ride and get lost. And fortunately, in Bergen County, there's always a green sign that says Ridgewood that way, Glen Rock that way, Hawthorne that way. So it's great because you really couldn't get lost. Just follow the signs. Eventually, it'll get you back to somewhere that looks familiar. And that's what we did. So it's good to know the roads and find new roads too. Randy's always good at, I'm always like, how do you know this road? Because he likes to explore that way. And with our GPSs on our Garmin's or your Wahoo or whatever device you're using, even your phone, you can get yourself back anywhere. There's a feature in most of them that says take me home, and it will literally just take you back. So use those features when you can. All right, it's a little shorter cool down than normal, just so I can stop us at 8 o'clock. I will jump off. If you want to stay on your bike and get a little bit more out of the workout, you are welcome to do that. Good job, guys. Good workout. Woo.